Hi guys, welcome to I'll Be Damned, the podcast where weddings meet real talk. I'm Sarah E., expert bridal stylist and boutique owner for over 14 years.
And I'm Terry Myrie, destination wedding specialist, wedding business coach, and educator from Terry Events and Master Weddings with Terry. Together, we're going to give you the tips, the tea, and the truths that every bride and groom needs to feel relaxed, more confident, to plan smarter, and to have an amazing wedding journey.
From fashion to budgets to all the wedding industry secrets that nobody wants to tell you, we'll cover them here. All right, so come on in. Let's get into the next episode. So one of the topics we wanted to talk about today was choosing your beauty vendors. And I wanted to start that topic off because I have a story when I got married, God knows how many years ago now, 14 years ago. As you all can see, I have vitiligo. I've had vitiligo all my life. So I've never had my makeup, up until then, I'd never had my makeup professionally done, right? I always did it myself. And I was always very cagey about it because sometimes makeup art, they would make it too thick and I hug somebody and it rubs off. And so anyway, wedding time, I'm going to get it professionally done. I went to three makeup artists here locally, two of which were really popular at the time. One of them stood me up, told me that she wasn't well, and turns out a friend of mine saw her in the makeup store buying makeup when we were supposed to have an appointment. Yikes. Another one just didn't do a good job, right? And then I went to Miami and I went to the MAC counter, right? Had my makeup done in the MAC counter. She did a fabulous job. But I couldn't fly the MAC makeup artist to Jamaica. And I was just so frustrated. I just said, you know what? I'm doing makeup. I'm going to do my own makeup. And my planner at the time said, no, Sarah, you can't do that. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to one more person. And I'll tell you her name here. I want you to go to Sharon Wint at Face Forward. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to trust you. And when I went to her, she and I vibed so well. She understood the assignment. She knew what I needed. And it was perfection on the day. And we just vibed. So, you know, when choosing your beauty vendor, it's not just about what you see on social media. It is about how you vibe with them. It's about having the right conversations because especially now, AI makes it even worse. Reputable beauty vendors are not going to be using AI to touch up their work, right? But the fact of the matter is a lot of what you see online, there is some touching done to it, some retouching, whether it is directly from the MUA herself or from the photographer or whatever the case is. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you need to know for yourself that what you're seeing is what you're going to get.
Exactly.
When it comes to makeup, go do a trial. Most makeup artists are going to charge for a trial. It's worth every penny. Right? Do the trial. Preferably do the makeup in the morning at the trial. Walk around all day. And see how the makeup stay. Maybe you do the makeup trial the day of your bridal shower. Or I don't want to say an engagement shoot because you don't want him to see the nice makeup before, but find an event.
That's an option. It's an option, Find an event.
Find an event. And have a makeup and hair trial. So you know, and then you can tweak it as you need to.
I think the thing is you don't want to regret. I've had a bride that, you know, I recommended top of the line makeup artists. She chose somebody based on budget. She chose somebody. No, I get budget. Don't get me wrong. But this is an area you want to spend on because you have those pictures forever. So you don't want to regret it. You have to make sure that you hire makeup artists and hairstylists that are reputable and, you know, click with you. Imagine working with somebody who's working on your face on your wedding day and you don't like them. But they're the best, but you don't like them.
You don't like them.
Like, make that make sense.
Or them face sour.
So, I mean, it's important because regret is the worst thing. And so that bride that I was telling you about, the pictures sucked, and it wasn't because of the photographer. It was because the makeup was not done properly. So you need to be able to have makeup. It's not like just a regular event makeup. Right? It has to be done in a specific way. I'm not a makeup person, guys, but I know that a bride has to have her makeup done professionally, should have her makeup done professionally on her wedding day, because the photographs, every blemish is going to show.
Right.
You remember the lighting from the photos and the video. So you have to make sure that you source the correct vendor.
Yeah.
Right.
What I have found, and I've spoken to a lot of makeup artists, there's actually a difference between the makeup products that they use on a lady that's going to a birthday party versus the makeup products that they use on a actual bride.
Right.
So you might say, we talked about the wedding tax in the last episode, you might say, why is she charging this amount of money for a full face? And when I'm just going to Frenchmen or going to, you know, a birthday party, she charges this much. It's a completely different experience.
It's a different experience.
The other thing I would say is I had a bride who hired a makeup artist who doesn't really do brides. That was not his main clientele. His main clientele was music videos and production. And so the type of makeup he used was different. So by the time, and this was in the summer, and this was at an outdoor wedding, by the time we were walking her to get her to the aisle, when I said her face was cracking and melting, and I had to try and see how I could rectify that. Because most makeup artists, once they're done with the party, they're gone. They're not staying for the day unless you hire them to touch you up later, right? So don't just think that because maybe you work in a particular field and you know this person, they do makeup very well, right? That is a person for your day. And I'm not saying don't hire them, but what I am saying is do a trial. Do a trial and make sure. And there are some brides that want full glam. And when I say full glam, they want to make sure you know they have the makeup on, right? They want the lashes, they want the face beat, they want the concealer, the contour, they want it all.
Yeah.
You may see a makeup artist who that's not her vibe. So you need to be able to have these conversations. And yes, it's going to cost you money. Maybe you go to 2 or 3 different makeup artists to try and see which one is the best one. But that is money well spent. Take the money you're going to spend on the giveaways, what do you call them?
The favors.
The favors. Take that money from the last episode and put it into your makeup and hair trial. Trust me when I tell you, you will not regret it.
Yeah, I think research has to be done. I mean, across the board for all vendors, but I think your makeup artist requires some serious research. You need to be looking at pictures, especially if you don't wear makeup. Don't come to me and tell me, oh, I'm a natural girly. Look, you need makeup, okay?
Done. Even if it's just for the shine.
Period. You need makeup.
You need makeup. Even if it's just
I'm
for
a
the
natural
shine.
girly. Makeup, okay? Let's not discuss this. Makeup.
I'm a makeup girly. Makeup. Either one. Makeup.
You need to, but there are makeup artists who can make you look natural.
Yeah.
But you just have to find the right one. So do your research. Take images off of online and show your makeup artist what you want to look like. Have consultations with them. Apart from the trial, you need to be building a rapport with your makeup artist and your hairstylist, telling them what you like, what you do not like, right? The worst thing is for you to show up on the day and then you have somebody who's a stranger. You should be forming relationships with your vendors, right?
Yeah.
And share with them what you don't like, what you like, so that they have a clear idea. The worst thing is for you to be on your wedding day and you're not satisfied and you're trying to give your makeup artist instructions about what they need to change. You don't got no time for that. As a planner, we don't have time for that. Okay?
Did you see
it's not built in the timeline.
Exactly. Did you see the video that went viral on TikTok with this girl? She was from the States and she took her camera in the bathroom while she was washing the makeup off of her face on her wedding day. It went viral and the makeup artist it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And that, I think, was just a situation where the two of them just didn't have the right conversations before. Having pictures and inspiration is very important, but what I will say to everybody is figure out how to decipher AI pictures from real pictures, okay?
Yes.
And a lot of times I hear makeup artists complain all the time when the girls say they want like a natural glam. Natural glam requires a lot of makeup. FYI, requires a lot of makeup. I don't know enough about makeup to educate. One day we'll bring a makeup artist
yes, definitely.
and have her teach us everything that we need to know. But just be careful of measure your expectations in terms of what you're seeing online, whether it's AI, whether it's real brides,
Yes.
and what your expectations are, because oftentimes we don't realize the shape of our face, our complexion, whatever blemishes, all the different things that we have that this AI picture does not have.
Oh gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
And so again, just having that conversation with your makeup artist and your hairstylist. Listen, the hairstylist is muy importante.
Oh gosh.
Right? Whether you're doing your natural hair, whether you're doing a sew-in, which by the way, we
Oh
do,
gosh.
or you're doing a lace wig. What I will tell you is bring the sew-ins back, please. Let's kind of put the lace aside. And can we have a rebirth of the sewing? Right? If I see another lace hairline on somebody's wedding day, like can we just put it to rest? I know it's controversial. I'm gonna get a lot of slack for it. But back in the day, and I'll take my old 50-year-old self and tell you, back in the day, sew-ins were it. You couldn't tell that she was wearing extensions. I think on my wedding day, my hair wasn't long enough, so I think I actually glued tracks in and it looked fabulous.
Yeah.
But the wig thing it's difficult because it just doesn't look as natural. If that's what you're comfortable with, fine. But find a stylist, a hairstylist that can do it really well. Our bride Nisha did her hair, and her stylist killed it. It was, it was absolutely beautifully done.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, not everybody can do it like her.
Yes. And can we do these the day before the wedding?
Oh yes, the installs.
We are not doing that on the day of the wedding.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
If you do the install the day of the wedding, we're going to start at 6 o'clock in the morning.
No,
and
ma'am, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We are styling on the day of the wedding.
Right.
Only. All bridesmaids and the bride. Styling only. We're not
Prep
washing
work is
your
done.
hair. We're not doing anything. Please. I've had brides who want to do that. I'm like, we're not. No.
Yeah.
Definitely no.
Yeah.
So please remember that. What I want to also talk about is the time, because I don't think a lot of brides understand how much time it's going to take on the day of the wedding for the actual glam aspect of it. You're a bridal stylist, so share with me on that.
Okay, so let's talk if you have one bride and let's say 4 bridesmaids. You also have a mother of the bride who's probably going to get her hair and makeup done, and possibly a mother of the groom, right? So we're at 7 people.
Right.
Good. The wedding is starting at 3 o'clock. Good. We're doing a first look, right? So the first look is going to start at 2, hopefully, right? So then that means the bride has to be ready, hair and makeup ready from probably about 1, because more than likely she's going to do what? A robe shot with her bridesmaids.
Don't forget the content creation.
And then we have the content creation that has to be done before, right? So by this time now, she needs to be dressed by 12 for a 3 o'clock wedding. Okay? So if we're going to do that, typically the bride's makeup gets done last because she needs to be the freshest. Most makeup artists, if they're doing a regular face for a bridesmaid, is going to be at bare minimum 30 minutes, but about 45 minutes is what the time I normally like to allot. And for a bride herself, I like to allot an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. Okay? Because what I find with makeup artists and hairstylists, they're perfectionists. I will look at the face and like, yes, and like,
no, ready.
And they're still doing things towards the end, right? So if this bride needs to be face and hair done and she needs to be ready by 1:30, right? Then I need her in the chair by about 11, depending on what's happening with the hair. Okay? And then after that, no. If it's one makeup artist with no assistant, right, then she is running half hour for everybody. Sometimes I find the mother of the bride and the groom will be done last because we have the bride done.
Definitely.
We have the bride done so she can go take pictures while we finish up mommy and daddy. Right? Definitely. So when you think about your timeline, you say, oh, my makeup is only going to take an hour. It won't take that much time. It will. And then we have to add in 15, 20-minute buffers here and there for any kind of mishaps that will happen. Yeah. If you're having a bridal party that is more than you and maybe 3 people, I would suggest that you have a makeup artist that has an assistant.
Yes, definitely.
Right? We need an assistant in that room. And then now, that's a whole nother topic we'll talk about another time in terms of where brides get dressed and air conditioning and all that kind of stuff. But we'll talk about that another time. But it's going to be a lot of you in the room and there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And we just need to just
yeah.
keep everybody moving as best as we can.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
So yeah, you have to think through the logistics of it, especially if you don't have a planner. You have to have a timeline that works. And each makeup artist, each hairstylist is different. Some work faster than others, you know. But what we want you to understand is that you have to have conversations with your vendors. You have to feel comfortable with your vendors. You have to also think about the entire look. So the dress, the makeup, the hair, the venue, how is it all fitting together? So when you're hiring your beauty vendors, it's not just about who's trending. It's really more detailed than that. You need to, you know, think through some of these important things.
And also, if you're going to go, if you have always had a dream of a particular beauty vendor, these beauty vendors book up fast. Most of them are booked at least a year in advance.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're talking about that, we're now in January. Some of the more popular ones are probably booked up to June, July, August already, especially if you're going to get married on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah.
So definitely look into that. Put down your deposit. That's something that needs to be in the first few months of planning. You definitely need to do that.
Don't play.
Yeah. All right?
Yeah.
What was the next thing we wanted to talk about, Terry?
We are talking about Pinterest and Instagram versus reality.
Okay.
Now I know you guys be sending those inspiration pictures. Right? But there are a few things that we need you to understand. Okay. First and foremost, a lot of those inspiration pictures are styled shoots. Okay. Can we rewind that? A lot of those inspiration pictures are style shoots. So they're not very practical, right? Sometimes for an actual wedding. What you're seeing is to grab your attention and to give you the wow factor and to inspire you. But you have to talk through those sort of pictures with your designer or your decorator. Sometimes it cannot just be translated from Pinterest to reality. So that's one thing I definitely want you guys to understand. What is your take on Pinterest and all of these pictures that you're seeing on Instagram and on TikTok, on social media in general?
Well, I mean, as it relates to wedding dresses, because that's my forte. I think a lot of it is the challenge I have. Most times the dresses are gorgeous. They fit fabulously. The challenge I have is I don't think brides are well informed enough as it relates to pricing for the type of dresses that they're seeing.
Okay.
If you look at a lot of these dresses that are coming out of Nigeria, for example, gorgeous dresses, right?
Yeah.
But oftentimes those dresses are custom. So it doesn't mean that the bride necessarily went to Nigeria to meet with the designer. Most of the times they don't. But there are very specific measurements that are taken, right? And it is a one-on-one consultation that goes on for months. Good?
Right.
And so the realistic expectation is if you have the budget that can manage that, great. But I'm here to tell you that the majority of those dresses are going to start at about 4,000 US and up.
Yeah.
Good? And so where I have a challenge sometimes is it's hard for brides to see this vision and want this vision, but don't have the budget to match that vision. Yeah. So then it is my job now to have a conversation and be able to put them in dresses that have some of the elements that these dresses have and let them, see and feel. Yeah. So I say to brides all the time, this is the first time you're doing this. You've never tried on a wedding dress before in life, right? You see all these pictures, you get overwhelmed. I understand it. The overwhelming is real.
Yeah.
So come in, let's have a conversation and let's put on a wedding dress.
Yeah.
Right? It may not look exactly like that particular wedding dress, but when you put it on, like, oh, wow, this feels really good. The structure is good. The boobs are doing what the boobs are supposed to be doing. Yeah. The booty is popping out. Everything is looking really good. Yeah. So don't discount because it's not exactly what you're seeing on Pinterest, that it is that you can't feel that same sexy, elegant bridal feeling. The experience is there. You just have to be open to it. Yeah. Right? And so when it comes to Pinterest too, I just recently went back and added Pinterest. All right. Because I deleted it years ago. But I deleted it again. Because it's so full of AI.
It is.
Everything is AI.
A lot of it is AI.
I couldn't decipher.
But it's stressing people out. And that's my thing. Brides, grooms, whoever, they want their wedding to be at a certain standard. Yeah. And they're more concerned about it looking like this picture rather than the experience. right? Your guests are not going to be remembering, oh, did you have hydrangeas and roses? They're going to remember the dancing. They're going to remember
The vows. Right.
They're going to remember the experience.
Right.
And so for me, a lot of the focus should be on creating an experience. Yes, the decor is a part of it.
Yes.
But we have to be realistic, especially when we're talking about flowers.
Right.
And this is something I have to educate my clients on all the time. We're in Jamaica. We're a tropical country. A lot of our tropical flowers are reds, purple, not purples, well, oranges, yellows, bright colors.
Like anthuriums and bougainvillea and those type of things.
So we have to import, and most people don't want that, right? Even though they're coming to a tropical country, they want the hydrangeas, the peonies, the lilies, the roses. And that's fine. But those come at a higher cost.
We have to import all of those? I know the hydrangeas because they're
all of those.
Even the roses?
Of course. We don't grow roses. We have garden roses, but we don't grow it
type of roses.
Produce it in Jamaica. So they're coming from Colombia. They're coming from Ecuador. And
what does a standard bridal bouquet, like just a bunch of like ivory roses wrapped, look nice?
You're looking at 12 to 14 roses for a standard.
A standard, yeah.
Yeah. And you're looking at probably $13,000, $15,000.
Okay.
And again, the quality, because
that's not bad. When I got married, mine was 6.
Right.
That was 14 years ago.
I'm sure.
So it hasn't gone up that much.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're more expensive ones, but again, you have to look at what you're asking for. A lot of these pictures online are from international weddings.
Right. Where things are much more accessible.
Much more accessible. We have to bring them in. We have customs duties. Hello.
What about fake flowers? Sorry, let me rephrase. Faux. About faux flowers.
Oh my gosh.
Faux florals.
Okay.
Mixed in.
Are we doing damned or do? Because damned.
I was right. Damned. Okay, fine. Fine.
I'm a work in progress because a lot of people in the industry are mixing them. So you have mix and faux flowers. And I don't mind that, but I was taught real flowers. And my mind hasn't transitioned there as yet. You know,
but then I heard the fake flowers aren't necessarily that much cheaper either.
But that's true, because if you want fake faux flowers that look real, the real touch, you better believe you're paying a very high price for it. So people think it's less money. People think greenery is less money. No, greenery has been trending for years. So automatically the cost is going to increase.
Like baby's breath is supposed to be inexpensive.
Yeah, baby's breath is relatively inexpensive.
Okay.
And that was trending some years ago. Yeah. So people have to think about these things. Right. How does it translate to a wedding in Jamaica? There are definitely cost implications. When we're talking about heat. And this is a topic I wanted to talk to raise with makeup artists. Okay. Because sometimes you have international makeup artists too who've never worked in tropical like countries. Likewise, the type of flowers that you use, that you see on Pinterest or Instagram, they're not conducive to a tropical climate. Right?
So I didn't even think of that.
So we have to be realistic. Right. So a lot of the times I'll be telling people, okay, this is beautiful. We can do something similar.
Right.
We can swap these flowers out. We can, So we have to be realistic. I think there's too much pressure on our couples to have the Pinterest type wedding. And then also there is the push to have a viral wedding or to have likes. And so
that's why we hire a content creator for our wedding.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot. I think it's a lot.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. It's a lot of pressure. Sometimes I feel like I would love brides and grooms to kind of just go back to the time of when it was, like you said, more about the experience and the family and all that. It can still be just as beautiful, but it's not that I don't want a bride or groom to have an elaborate wedding. What I don't want is for that elaborate wedding to cause so much stress that it takes away from the experience of what the wedding is supposed to be.
Right.
When you are breaking the bank, when you are, beg, borrowing, and stealing so you can have a particular flower or whatever the case is, that's where I have a problem. I will have brides come to the store. They'll fall in love with a dress. They love the dress. The dress needs alterations. I put the veil on. They love the veil. They love the off-the-shoulder straps. They love everything. when I break all the pricing down and I'm talking to them, I realize that, okay, this is a bit much for them.
Yeah.
I will say to them, listen, here's what you need to do. Secure the dress and the alterations. Good. Everything else will fall into place. We have 4 months till your wedding.
Right.
Maybe your cousin that got married last year, she has her veil that you can borrow, and it can be your something borrowed, right? So you don't have to rent a veil for $10,000, $15,000, right? Do you really need the off-the-shoulder straps? How much does that make or break the bank for you, right? And maybe one of your bridesmaids or some might decide, you know what, it happens all the time. They call me and they say, Sarah, what's the bank account information? I want to put $5,000 towards this for you. Right. That's what weddings are about. That's what the community is about, coming together and supporting the bride and groom as they, so they can have some of the things that they want that they may not have already been able to afford. So I just don't want, we're not saying, oh, don't have the big wedding.
No, we're not saying that.
By no means. No. Have the big, fabulous, elaborate wedding if that's what you want. Yeah. But I don't want you to stress yourself out to the point that it affects relationships. It affects the relationship between the bride and groom or between family. That's not what we want. So just be measured and remember that it is one day and it is about the experience of that day and family and community for that day.
Yeah, it's about you guys. And so for me, one of the key things that I ask is, well, two things. What are your non-negotiables, right? Okay. What are you not willing to compromise? And it would be different. It may be different for the bride and the groom. So, what are the non-negotiables? And that will set the stage, for anything pretty much going forward in your wedding planning. And so I think you guys, couples need to have those conversations. And then I forgot what the other one was.
That's okay. That's okay. So... That's fine. Trust me, the forgetfulness is real. Let's do a little bit of damned or do.
Yes.
Okay. For those of you who are just catching us for the first time, damned or do is a little game that we play where each of us are going to throw each other a question. And if we think it's something that brides and grooms should definitely do, we say do. And if we think it's something that they definitely should not do, we say damned. Damned. All right. You have any questions for me? You want to go with me first?
Using AI to plan the wedding.
Damned.
Why? Tell me why, though.
Wait, hold on. When you say using AI to plan the wedding, like going into ChatGPT and say, I'm planning my wedding, do this, do that?
I want to hear your reason.
I think it depends on how much do you use ChatGPT or how much do you use it. Because if you're somebody that uses it a lot, like I use it a lot business-wise. So my ChatGPT knows my voice, knows the things I like, what I don't like, how I speak, knows that. So if I said, hey, help me plan a birthday party, right? Then I would trust my guy to help me plan a birthday party. But if it's the first time you're planning a wedding, right? If it's your first time using ChatGPT and you're going to use it to plan your wedding, I'm just not sure how that personal touch, that feeling, it may get lost. It may not, because AI is very, very good. But if you don't know how to give AI the right prompts, then you're going to end up down a rabbit hole. If you have a good foundation, maybe ask AI, what prompts should I give you to help you plan my wedding, right? And you'll get that. And then what that does now, I think AI may also give a bride and groom a false sense of security. Oh, well, AI is my planner, so I don't need to hire a planner. I'm going to do it myself. The problem is, Gearmore, whatever your AI name is not going to be there on the morning, setting up the tables, making sure your tablecloths are pressed, and doing the execution. Right? And auntie and uncle who promised that they were going to do it, but didn't come back from St. Elizabeth in time to do whatever needed to be done is not going to be there. And you're the one that's going to end up being stressed. So if you want to use AI just as a foundation, fine. Not a problem. But AI does not replace a planner. That's my thought.
Yeah, I'm with you on it, Tina. I just wanted to hear.
Oh, so why you push back on me like that?
Because I wanted them to hear too.
Okay.
All right, so DIY weddings.
I'm still gonna go with damned.
Okay.
I just think it's more stress than what the bride needs, especially when it comes down to that last week of the wedding. I have so many brides that come to me that week of the wedding that have a planner And they're stressed.
And they're stressed.
Because what often happens, and this is not shade to anybody's family members, sisters, bridesmaids, or whatever, people promise to help, but then they don't. Yeah. Because everybody has a life too, right? Your maid of honest or whoever said she was going to help, but then her baby got sick. And and she's busy, or the husband ended up flying overseas for something, and that people just don't have time.
Yeah.
Although your wedding is the most important thing to you, it's not always the most important thing to everybody else around you. So DIY is fine, and it can be fun. You know, a couple nights before you guys are putting together the wedding favors that I love so much.
You can make it a party, sure.
You can make it a party. It can be fun, but it is also very stressful, and it's just not my recommendation.
Yeah, and I if I could add, you know, I think people are doing it for the budget, to reduce the budget, but then you're not putting a cost to the emotional stress that it gives. You know what I mean? And I think people need to factor that in. And if you are not a creative, or if you're not, you know, a hands-on person, then DIY is not for you. There, you know, it doesn't make sense to try to do DIY if it's just not up your alley.
Your wedding day is not the day.
And what you see, again, what you see on Instagram and TikTok, that's the final version.
Right.
They've tried about 20 times before whatever you're seeing.
Right.
They didn't just get it right the first time.
Correct.
So factor that in.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that one as well. Okay, content creators at your wedding.
I don't want to say damned. I don't want to say do. I think it depends on the bride and groom. If you are a content girly, if this is a space that you live in, if this is a space that you thrive in, and it is important part of the experience for you, then I say go ahead, do it. But if that's not the space that you're comfortable in, don't feel pressured into doing it. I am a tete for the camera. There is not a camera or a mirror that I don't like. That is just facts. On my wedding day, I was so tired of taking pictures. Nobody could have told me I would have felt that way. After I walked back down the aisle and we had to go and take pictures. No, actually, before, when I was dressed, I got dressed at the Pegasus, and we were dressed, and we took some pictures in the room, and the photographer said, "Oh, I want to go up on the rooftop. Let's go up on the rooftop because..." These were his exact words. The juxtaposition between the soft, beautiful bride and the hard landscape of Kingston is just going to be so. So I'm like, all right, let's go. We go in the elevator, get to the talk of the town. Now, when you get to the talk of the town at the Pegasus, there's some steps to go up to the rooftop. Well, you know, the door was locked.
Oh, no.
So I'm standing in this hallway with my bridesmaids and everything, and the photographer says, "Oh, security gone for the key." I said, "No, you know. I said, I'm not waiting, let's go. I didn't spend all this money and all this time and effort to stand up here in the hallway of the Pegasus waiting for you to open the door so I can take 2 pictures. No, let's go." And so we went, got married, right? I was on time, thank you very much. And then after the wedding now, we're taking pictures. But I wanted to go to my cocktail hour. The cocktail hour is not for the bride and groom, though.
No, it's changing, but usually it's not. It's changing.
After a while, I just did not want to take another picture. And I am a big picture person. So I'm just saying, when you think about, and I've seen it at weddings where the bride and or the groom, because when you do these TikToks, you know, it's not just one take.
No.
It's like 3 or 4 different takes that you're doing. And it can get a little bit frustrating. And you don't want to have a service on the day that you paid good money for, and you're just not really enjoying it. Every service that you add to your wedding should either add to the experience or add to your enjoyment. And if you feel like it's going to take away, then back it off. You don't need to have it.
Yeah. And I think that's where your planner or, you know, professionals, because other professionals give advice too, that's where you need to listen to them. Because we know, we've done it. We know the pros and the cons. So, you know, listening to us. But again, there are ways to do it, that it comes out great and you have a great experience. It just depends, as you said, right? So, yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Family during the catering for the wedding.
Damn, dude, what the heck? That's not even... It's a thing. No. Give me a real one, because that's damn.
It's a thing.
I know. It. Look here. No, negative.
But suppose you have a family member that cooks really well and she cooks
That's
all
a
the
caterer.
Christmas.
If you're a professional, okay, let me put it in context. If you have a family member who's a caterer, a professional, then yes, of course.
No.
If Uncle Harry is going to kill the goat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The chicken.
Yes, I make the manage water and do everything.
No. Been there, done that. Don't do it anymore. I'm sorry. No.
Does in a situation like that, does he need a food handler's permit to do that for a wedding?
100%.
Really?
Of course. You're handling food for X amount. I mean, I have had brides, grooms who want to do this, and I have to walk them through. There's a lot health issues that we have to think about. Now, there are caterers who will take the goats and take the chicken from you.
Oh, and they do it.
Okay. There are some caterers who will do that.
Okay.
But for your aunt or uncle or father or whoever to actually do the catering, unless they're a professional, I would say no. That goes for the cake as well.
No, man, mommy have to make the cake. What you mean? Grandma's been making the wedding cake, the fondant. No, they have to make everything, Terry.
The favors. Put it on the table for the guests.
But not the actual
if they are not professional, if they're not a professional, if they, because also you have some family members who can do a great black cake, can do great vanilla cakes. They can't decorate it.
Oh.
And there are going to be no cake vendors who are going to take somebody else's cake
and decorate
and put fondant on it.
Do you find that most Jamaican weddings now are still doing the wedding cake? Nobody's doing that anymore?
People are doing it, but not a lot. Not a lot.
Okay. Yeah, and are we still saving the top tier for a year from now?
Half, I think that's 50-50.
Okay.
Yes, some are.
Okay.
But again, we have to look at tradition. Because it was black fruit cake, that is why it was, and because of the tradition of it. But I don't know about these cakes nowadays, the vanilla and the red velvet. A year, are they still good after a year?
I don't know. I don't think that's a tradition. That's not a Caribbean tradition enough, because I've listened to stuff. It happened in the States as well too. They can save it for the year, and it's not black cake.
Well, to each their own. But 50-50, there are still some couples who do it, yeah.
I have one last one for you.
Okay.
Professional MC versus family member or friend MC.
So definitely professional. I will go with professionals every day, all day.
Really?
Because that's what we do. We know what we're doing. We are educated, we're certified, we're trained, we're experienced. So I will go with a professional.
We're getting some teas over there in the back. Some pocket in the back. Okay.
No, but I'm just saying, and that's why I have my preferred vendors list. Not because I don't want to use other vendors, because I know the quality of work, I know the professionalism, I know the experience that they're going to bring to your wedding. Right? Now, I have had some MCs that are friends, and they've done a pretty decent job, right? But then I have had some that just is like
drag on and on and on and on.
They're just not suitable for it.
Yeah.
Right? And again, a wedding is a different type of event. Right, so
just because you're funny at Christmas dinner don't mean you're funny at the wedding.
And there's protocol, and you remember you're working with a DJ, you're working with the planner. So I'm not saying it's a hard no, but on a case by case basis. But I definitely would say professional all the way. I did have a bride. It was tough for her. She didn't have any friends or family to do it, but she didn't want a professional either. So she's like, I just wanted to be organic. And I was just like,
organic
I don't know how organic doesn't work.
Yeah. Listen, if those speeches go too long, especially if you want a wedding that's going to be like a party vibe, too many speeches going too long, corny jokes, inappropriate jokes.
Yeah.
All those things can just ruin a vibe. So I'm with you on the professional.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna fight you on the professional.
But then again, also professional there are people who are MCing who are not professional either. So when
so just because they put it on their resume don't mean they're good at it.
So for me, a wedding is, once in a lifetime, and it's an elegant affair.
Yeah.
I just think it needs to be treated as such. Now, you may, think differently. So I just think professionalism comes with, just a certain kind of standard and a certain demeanor. Not saying you can't get hype, but I think sometimes I see professionals that just take it over the top.
Over the top. Yeah.
Way over the top.
But also doesn't that depend on the bride and groom? Because
It
they would have
does.
had conversations and the bride and groom should kind of sensitize them as
For
to what
sure,
is appropriate and
because-
what isn't.
Because what you do at one wedding
can't do at
you shouldn't
another.
you shouldn't be able to do, because each wedding is different. Yeah, you can do, sometimes you can do an activity or a joke at multiple weddings.
Yeah.
But again, it's about the uniqueness, the customization.
Yeah.
Every aspect of your wedding is customizable. An MC should come in and customize this thing for you.
Yeah, definitely.
You understand?
Yeah.
We
And that's it.
don't deal with cookie cutter around here.
All right. Well, no cookie cutter weddings, no cookie cutter
No.
MC, no cookie cutter wedding dress, anything of the sort.
No.
All right, good stuff.
That's what we try to do.
That's what we try to do. All right. Well, I think we're finished with the rapid fire.
I think so.
I think we're finished with this episode for today.
Yes, episode 2, guys.
Episode 2 again, and we need to drop. We'll learn as we go along, right? So we're going to drop in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment, and make sure you share the I'll Be Damned podcast.
Yes.
We haven't set up a IG for it yet, but
Not yet.
everything in time. If you have any questions, if you have any stories, please put them in the comments.
Yeah.
Light the comments up. We want to hear from you guys because this podcast is not about us.
Yeah.
It's about you, and we can't give you what you want if we don't know what you're looking for.
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much for listening, and
See you on episode 3.
yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.